In the cold New York, Jamie and Amelia, love reborn amidst lights, rain, and forgotten secrets. New York City in the early winter days had a beauty that was both brilliant and cold. From above, the yellow lights of Times Square flowed down like a river of light, reflecting off the ice covering the rooftops. Jamie stepped out of the hotel lobby, holding a cup of hot coffee, the aroma seeping through his scarf. He had loved New York, but now, after several years of absence, the city still made his heart ache with a strange feeling, both familiar and distant. Amelia walked down the stairs on the opposite side. Her long gray coat, a thick cotton scarf wrapped around her neck, her eyes shining in the streetlights. Jamie stopped, a little surprised. The last time they had seen each other was a few years ago, when they were both busy with their own art projects. Jamie, her voice rang out, trembling slightly from the cold, but still warm enough to penetrate his heart. Amelia, he replied, a slow smile spreading across his lips. In that moment, the sounds of cars, honking horns, and all the noise around them faded away. They just looked at each other, realizing what was lost and what had never gone. Point 2. Starting with steps, they decided to walk along Central Park. The fallen yellow leaves filled the path, reminding them that time passed quickly but still retained a bit of the past. I still think about the last time we saw each other, Amelia said, running her hand through her hair. But New York always makes everything different. Jamie chuckled softly, her voice low. This city makes everything bigger, the joy, the memories, and the mistakes. They stopped at a bench near the lake. Jamie took off her scarf, spread it out, and placed it on the bench before they sat down. It felt unexpectedly close, as if they had never been apart. You've changed, Jamie said. But it's still the you I remember. Amelia was silent, just smiling. A smile that was both gentle and filled with regret. 3 days in the city that never sleeps. The next 2 days, they explored New York together. No specific schedule, no work pressure. Just morning strolls through Battery Park, afternoon coffee in Greenwich Village, and late nights on the bustling streets around Broadway. Jamie took Amelia to a used bookstore in Soho. The stacked books, the smell of old paper, the smell of ink, all reminded him of simpler days, when they were young and not yet attracted by the glamour. Remember, we used to dream of a bookstore like this, but in Dublin, Amelia said. Jamie smiled. But here, with you, it was worth it. They touched hands gently, feeling like they realized for the first time that distance and time had not erased the connection between them. 4 forgotten moments. One evening, they stopped in front of a small jazz bar. Inside, the music was full of emotion, the saxophones humming as if stretching time. Jamie and Amelia sat close together, silent, letting the music do the talking. I forgot what it felt like, Jamie whispered. It felt like the world was just us. Amelia turned to look at him, her eyes sparkling in the dim light. You know, me too. Time apart, just made me realize how important you are. They laughed, and in that moment, it seemed like all the conflicts, the misunderstandings, the gaps in time disappeared. 5 the rain in Brooklyn. On the 3rd day, a sudden rainstorm hit as they were walking across the Brooklyn Bridge. They ran for shelter, drenched from head to toe, but no one cared. Jamie pulled Amelia into his arms, and the two of them stood there, in the rain, in the cold wind, a warm feeling spreading through their bodies. I think we've wasted too much time, Amelia said, her voice choking. Jamie held her tighter. It's okay. We're still here, and this, now, is all that matters. The rain fell on their hair, on their shoulders, on the clasped hands. Everything around them seemed to disappear, only their heartbeats in sync with the rain. 6. A night in Manhattan. On the fourth night, they attended a small art exhibition in Manhattan. The abstract paintings, the yellow lights, and the passing strangers, all of it created a space that was both strange and familiar. Amelia stood in front of a large painting, the light reflecting off her eyes, making Jamie unable to look away. He stepped closer, placing his hand on her shoulder. "You've always seen the world in a different way," he said. "And I've always found the world more beautiful when I'm with you," she replied, her voice soft but firm. They stood there, surrounded by people, but it was as if no one else existed. 7. Between the lights and the truth. On the last day, they walked around Rockefeller Square, where the Christmas lights were already shining. Jamie looked at Amelia, then gently took her hand. "Do you want to start over? Not with the past, but with ourselves, here, now?" Amelia was silent, her eyes sparkling, then she nodded. "I want to. No more regrets, no more hesitation. Just us." They passed the stalls, past other couples, but it was as if they were the only ones in existence. The city was crowded, noisy, but to them, everything was quiet. 8. Leaving New York, but not leaving each other. They left New York on the early morning flight, the city still shrouded in fog. But in their hearts, Jamie and Amelia knew that they were no longer two lost people. The days they had spent, the walks, the jazz evenings, the unexpected rains, had rekindled their feelings, had created something more lasting than any halo. On the plane, they sat close together, hands clasped, looking out the window, seeing a new dawn rising. No words needed, no promises needed, just their hearts, and New York would always be the witness to a love reborn.